Hello, everyone. It's July 18th and it's SoulCARE. Hey, how are you all? I know I promised you we'd have an opening today, but I promise next week we'll have it. I know we've just been so busy with the school and with the mediumship course that we haven't been able to get it all together because there's so much we're doing. But I'll make a phone call after this and have the opening for our SoulCARE. I visited my puppies over the weekend in their boarding school, and they're just lovely. You'll see them another month that will be here. So I can't wait to share them with you. They're just lovely, lovely animals, and they're very well. They're very smart. Australian Shepherds are very smart dogs, and they're agility dogs. So and they're working dogs, they're herding dogs. So I'm finding a chore for them when they come here. So hi, Sue Clifford. Hi, Linda Magnificent. I love that, Linda Magnificent. You are Tracy Williams, Stacy Thompson. Oh, you got The Quiet Mind. Very good. Good, Stacy. It's a great book, The Quiet Mind. Very good. Jay Jackson, hello. Marie Lopez, blessed day. Hi, Carrie McGarry. Hi, Lenore. So people are slowly going to get on. Thanks. Wow. Thanks, D.I. Potsna from Chicagoland. Love it. Linda Williams, hello. Patty. Linda Moran. Debbie Gomez, hello. Linda. Leela. Linda again. Sarah. Tracy. Tracy, I don't do private readings myself. I have people on my website that I really refer you to who are incredible, and they're on my website. Many are better than I am. So vanprog.com, and you go in the resources tab and they'll pop up. And I recommend every one of them. They're really incredible. They wouldn't be on that site if they weren't to my standards. And some of them are better than me, including their skill set. And I'm talking about mediumship. I want to thank everybody that came on Friday afternoon. We had a VIP meeting with the message from the a lot of new people. So thank you for the new people that came on to that evening of spirit, the messages. It was an interesting evening. It wasn't for me working. It was okay. It wasn't the best. It was an interesting time because I often share the process of mediumship, and I find the process of mediumship is so interesting always. And there's no really right way or wrong way. It just depends upon energetically what's going on. And when I work, I try to encourage my audience to be a certain way, to be very receptive. And I work very hard to be in a space to receive. And also the spirit has to be ready to learn the process of communication. So it was an interesting time because we had some very excellent connections. Other times, like, it could have been better. As a medium, you're always thinking, oh, it could have been better here. It could have been better here. I should have done this. But it's a great learning experience every time. So it was fun. So thank you very much. And from Zimbabwe, hello, Mitzi from Zimbabwe. God bless you. Wow. Hello, Julian Siegel. Hello from Kentucky. Hi, Cheryl. Neil, Bonnie, hello. It takes a little bit long to, just connect, which is fine, of course. Hi, Dawn Rosen. You love the Journey Mediumship One. That was a great course we had the other workshop the other day. Wednesday, we did a workshop for the Mediumship One students, and I really enjoyed that. I hope you also did. I'm sure you did, sweetheart, Dawn. It was a fun experience with everybody. We did a mediumship exercise. And for those who want to be kind of in person with me with mediumship, learning about mediumship, I'm going to be working with Gordon Smith. And Gordon Smith is a medium from Scotland. He's from the top European mediums, and there he is right here. Thank you, Renee, for that. That's an in-person mediumship event, Mediumship Made Simple. It's a 2-day workshop in August, and it's the only one I'm doing this year. So August 25th, 26th, in person. Well, that's not true. I am doing others, but this is the only one I'm doing with Gordon this year. 25th, 26th is here in San Diego, and it's we only have like 40 people. So it's going to be really cool. So it's Mediumship Made Simple, and it's going to be all about enhancing your power and sensing the power that you use for mediums. Mediumship, you don't have to be a medium to attend, between the very, very beginning to those who are already established. So you can always learn as far as mediumship goes. And we're going to teach about how to blending your mind with the spirit people. And we both have certain techniques. We're going to bring different techniques, and we're going to come together and share all of our techniques. So you're getting it from Europe and from the US. it's techniques to raise your quality of mediumship, to build your links, how to hold on to a link, sustain a link, how to be mindful of. It's so interesting when you let yourself surrender to the link, when you have that spirit close by, and you allow them to come so close to you, you become them. And we're going to get really into that. And you'll be many times, and this will happen probably more, I'm sure, in this workshop. When someone is doing mediumship, you begin to see the actual characteristics of that person on the face of the medium. So we'll be doing that exercise as well in the workshop, and it's called overshadowing. So we're going to be doing some overshadowing exercise. We actually see the features of the spirit, and we also do an exercise where it's the face of the person appears on the medium. So it's pretty cool, and really methods for perfecting your skills in a public demonstration if you're doing that. Exercise to improve your connections. Also, the ethics and responsibility as far as mediumship goes, because it certainly is a lot of integrity involved with mediumship, and a lot of people these days who jump into mediumship don't realize the sense of responsibility. At least from my experience that I've seen, I haven't been out a lot since COVID, but and I pushed that Mediumship 1 course with people I talked to the other day, that responsibility and ethics is a main part of mediumship in people's lives. So it's August 25th, 26th. And if you're interested in going to that workshop, it's on vanpraag.com. That's my website, vanpraag, vanpraagh.com. And that's on my website. And also the evening of the 26th, Gordon and I are doing a public demonstration right here in San Diego, a different location in San Diego. And that's going to be the In Spirit Center here in Encinitas, California. So, there you go. VIP Evening of Spirit Messages, August 26th, 4 to 5:30, and they can just sign up right there. Okay. So, Angie, you had a question for me this morning, but you forgot. It'll come back. I do it all the time. Don't worry, it'll come back to you. Marie Crane. Hi, Marie. When will I be back to Count Basie? Maybe next year I'm back at the Count Basie, because I'm getting the 2 little puppies. I'm not sure yet. I have to acclimate them here to my house, and I got to be with them for a little bit. So the August event will be the first time I'm going to be away from them, but they'll probably join me in the workshop. I'll probably bring them to the workshop because they love people, and I'll bring them a little to the workshop. But it won't be next year because I want to acclimate them to being in this house and being with me. So we give them 7 months to be with me before I start traveling. Okay. But definitely next March or February, I'll be back on the East Coast. I already have a date for Fort Lauderdale, and I'm going to get a date for Connecticut and New Jersey, Camp Basie, for sure. Lenore Sieb, sometimes I turn into my mom. I know it is true. It's true. So the only difference is we just allow them to come in to share the space. Mediumship is really sharing the space. So in that workshop, that's what we're going to teach, is how to share the space, how to let yourself step to the side and let the spirit person come in. And you're still very much in control. And there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing, no fear. I talked about this the other day at the workshop, that fear is a human emotion, a human experience. It's not a spirit. Spirit is about love. They don't have fear there. They don't have fear. They never have fear on the other side. Fear is only of the human dimension, if you will. It's very much a human type of limitations. In spirit, there are no limitations per se. Now, I will say in the spirit world that it is a mindset, in that you can reach as far as your mind can go. So if you are, and the same on this earth, if you're limited in your mind by certain belief systems, creeds, religions, whatever you want to say, and you're limited by that, well, then that's what you'll get. You'll get to the ceiling. You'll get in that box. But I believe everything is limitless, and I think we are limitless, and I think expansion is the key. Expansion, every expansion here, the human condition, and each person that you meet in your life, you should. I always kind of tune in to see, are they expanding my awareness, my experience here on the earth, or are they not? And if they're not, I'm like, what lesson am I learning here? What are they teaching me? What am I teaching them? So I go through this automatically on this assessment. When I first meet somebody, there's an assessment that I do unconsciously, maybe. I mean, I've met so many people in so many years that it's just a natural sense of, what am I teaching them? What are they teaching me? Are they here to enhance my life and expand my life, or not? So I know right away. So it's interesting. And then you get the ones you really don't know quite. It's interesting life. I'm answering some questions. Okay. Leela, James, do you believe that everyone has mediumship qualities? Leela, I do believe everybody has mediumship qualities. It's just, I often say the analogy, I use the analogy that Everybody has the ability to play the piano, so we can all learn the scales. We can all learn notes, and we can learn how to play them. Now, will you be a concert pianist? That's a little different. So I think everybody's born with the ability, but perfecting it to the degree that you have it is possible. And I say that because you're a soul, and the spirit people, they're a soul. You're a soul in the body. They're a soul outside the body. That's the only difference between the two. Okay. Judy, hi Judy. Hi James. Do our spirit guides change as we get older and change? Yes. So as you change and evolve because you've learned certain lessons, then your teachers will change because you have to learn something new. So it's like having a new teacher. So yes, indeed they do. Okay, Dawn Rosen. Hi Dawn. Good to see you again. What is it between becoming them and physical mediumship? Well, that's a good question, Dawn. Becoming them and physical mediumship. That's a slight difference in that when I say becoming them, I'm just talking about it's just a general sense of allowing yourself to be, if you will, in your mind to open up and surrender to letting them come close to you, that you can sense and feel them. In physical mediumship, you'd go even deeper. Physical mediumship is you allow them deeper to come in, and we call it in physical mediumship, we call it going down. And mental mediumship, you bring your power up, your energy up. But in physical mediumship, you surrender to such a point that we call it going down to such a point where you almost get into a sleep state, and you will allow and you surrender so much that the ego gets totally out of the way, and the being comes through. And many times they take on the characteristics of the person. They start speaking like them, and they start acting like them. So a little bit deeper than the connection than just becoming them. So becoming them could be, it just depends. Becoming them, the way I use it in mental mediumship is allowing them to come close to you. Physical mediumship is deeper. I guess that would be the best definition. Okay. Hi, Odelis Morales Leon. Will that interfere with your gifts? No, not at all. That's part of the gift. Part of the gift is allowing, surrendering, and allowing that other sense to come in. So whenever I do my work as a medium, I'm really, you don't know it, but when I'm doing messages, I'm allowing part of my mind space to open up, to receive and fill with the spirit. And depending on the perfection of the spirit's connection, how they can send thought, a feeling, a memory telepathically through me is the success of the reading, success of the person that hopefully the client or the recipient will understand the information. And it really depends upon how well the spirit is sending, influencing the mind of the medium, and how open that medium is to receive. And since I've been doing so many years, I really get to a point of just, I really am able to receive pretty easily because I know how it works, right? Now, and I've been doing it for so long. The thing with not messes me up, but changes, is the spirit doesn't know how to communicate, or the recipient doesn't know how to receive a message. So that's different. And the way you receive a message is just to be open to whatever comes through and to listen clearly to what the medium is saying. That's how you receive. But if the recipient is sitting there saying, come to me, or talk about, this, and talk about my nickname, or talk about, they're clogging up the mind with stuff that then it gets all messed up because the spirit can't come clearly through, and the recipient's not opening themselves up to the moment. They're thinking about something else. So their thoughts are all over the place. And it makes a big difference. Okay. Riley Johnson, what's the difference between ego and personality? Love to you, James. Thanks, Riley. So ego, edging God out, and personality. I think personality is an essence of your being, who you are. A personality, or we call soul personality. I think we build our personalities from lifetime to lifetime, a sense of self. A slight different than ego. Ego is a good to have a good ego, a sense of who you are. Me, when I talk about personality, for me personally, some of us might have a very different definition of this, but for me, ego is that sense of self, if you will. Personality is the essence of self. Yeah. And to me, personality, people talk about the soul personality. So when a message comes through or a spirit comes through, their soul personality is coming through. And that personality builds from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. It expands from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. Does the ego build lifetime to lifetime? It's a good question. I don't know. I think personally, and it has to have some effect from lifetime to lifetime, but ego definitely is a sense of self here, who you are. That answers it. Okay. Does your gift continue to grow as you age? Very much, Mary, if you allow it to. If you and that's up to really. Oh, it's a lovely picture there. Yes. If you allow it, Mary, to do that, if you are in a space of allowing yourself to expand, to learn, have the art of discovery, then you're open to new things and new ideas and new surroundings and new experiences. But there are many, many mediums who get to a point of just staying stable, and that's it. And their gift doesn't grow, and they become just the same old thing over and over again. And they don't want to explore and expand and discover. And to me, that's really a shame because we always need to be learning and growing. Even if you're not a medium, just in life in general, every day should be a brand new day filled with different experiences and different viewpoints and different perspectives of how you look at something. And to me, that's what I learned from different people. How do they look at things? I often think that I do that all the time. I used to do a lot of exercises, intuition exercises, when the days were first beginning, like, okay, I'm going to sense what elevator door is going to open first, or I got a letter in the mail. What does if that's a bill in the mail, how much is this invoice? Same thing with my awareness. I try every day to change it or have fun of mind exercises. And I say mind exercises, awareness exercises. So if I'm driving in a car, because in California we drive a lot, right? In San Diego we drive a lot. And if I drive in a car, I become aware. We have to be very mindful of the drivers on the right side or left side, in front of us, behind us. And it's really kind of a communication that we have with those drivers, because we have to communicate with them, not only in the vehicle, I find, but nowadays, because people are driving, unfortunately, they're on their phones, they're texting, or they're doing something, and they're distracted. So for me, I find that I have to really not only become aware of the vehicle, but sending them a message or sending a thought of, come watch it. I mean, all of you done it too, probably. Okay, I'm coming into the lane, watch out. I have my directional on, but I'm coming into this lane, be aware. So the awareness level has changed, the perception changed. And I do that every day. I just see how I can change my awareness perception every day. Try the driving, it's a good one. Okay. Hi, Louise. What state of mind do you have to be in when you bring people through? Because I've only done it twice and didn't know how I did it. Oh, Louise, it's a sense of a passive activism, and it's a sense of complete surrendering and complete sense of love. Just loving who you are, loving the space around you, loving the possible connection with the spirit world, learning to receive, learning to explore. That's really the way it is. And it's letting go of the ego. We talked about the ego just earlier here, letting the ego step to the side. Because if it's through the ego will say, get this right, don't get it wrong. So you're judging. So ego is judging. It can be very judgmental. And ego. And I always say, when you're in the ego space in mediumship, it's ego, edging God out. So you're trying to control God, and you can't control God. You just have to be God. You have to surrender to that God force. That's really what it is. It's surrender to that God force, and having that excitement of the discovery, the art of discovery. Good question. Okay. Matthew. Hi, Matthew. Nice for you to be here. Is a spirit an angel? I'm clairvoyant, but only episodically. Dreams or a sudden knowledge. Matthew, it depends on. I love the painting. It's up to you how you want to use it and how often you're able to use it. So episodically, it's only when you put your mind to it will you open up. You could probably open up more often, but you may be thinking it comes in spurts. But it's really always there. It's just you have to open up the mind if you want to, if you choose to. Open up that space, and you receive all the time. And you sound like you're a very mediumistic. I don't know, but the question sounds that way. Is a spirit an angel? We're all angels, I guess you'd say. Do I believe in angels with wings? I'm not sure about that. I think I might be religious. I think in those days, when they started painting angels, the analogy I've heard of, I kind of like this. When someone saw a being clairvoyantly and they had wings on them, I think they were actually seeing the auric field. And from the light they were seeing, they thought they were wings, but really I think maybe it was the aura. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe in totally in angels per se with wings. I think we're all angels down here on the earth too. Okay. Colette. Hi, Colette. Can you recommend a book that will help with Medium 1? Yes. A book that will help with Medium 1 is called Heaven and Earth. I wrote that book many years ago. But Heaven and Earth is a very, very good book. And it goes to different techniques in Mediumship 1. That's very good. Yeah. Um, Another one. Let's see. Let me just look and see my collection here. Da-da-dum. Uh, ah, it's a good book. It's an old book. This is a very good book for mediumship one. It's Connecting the Spirit World by Linda Williamson. So that's a very good book, Connecting to the Spirit World. So there's and Gordon Smith, of course, is wonderful books too. But this is a good general one. But Heaven and Earth that I wrote, I think I'd recommend that first. Okay. All right. Hi, Diane. My own grown children expand my awareness. Great love there. Children teach us wonderful lessons. All of our family members, but children especially, will teach you. It's true. And I always say to thank them in some way. Be grateful. And me mention the child. Thank you for teaching me. Wow, that's so interesting. I love your viewpoint. I never thought about it that way. So I think you should acknowledge when they teach you something, totally acknowledge, have open communication with the children. Because that way they can trust you. They know about trusting you. You can trust them. And you're always teaching each other. And I think it's wonderful to be a parent that's always open and learning and teaching and learning from their children. I think if that was established early on, there'll be a wonderful communication of trust that's began. Midnight Magic Wolf, I was just looking at you. Hey, James, how would you define a spirit animal? I thought of that question last night, but forgot it until now. Also, why do I feel like I know wolves better than anything else? So that's a good question, Midnight. I don't know enough about that, like there's totems and so forth, but I will definitely do a show on spirit animals. I'm not an expert in that, so I don't even feel comfortable answering it. But I have a show called Both Sides Now and Beyond. A lot of you know that tonight, Monday night, with Kelly White, my good friend who might be watching. Hi, Kelly. And we will do a show on spirit animals because Kelly knows a lot about animals, totem animals, but we'll do a show on spirit animals. A very good topic. Thank you very much. So look out for that one. We'll definitely do that. Oh, and tonight's show, Both Sides Now, we're going to multifaceted spiritual guide and life coach Ann Vanderwater in the show. And we're talking about healing and moving on and life mastery. Now, Anne is a very special woman, a special being. I met Anne a few months ago when I did a retreat I did a retreat for myself because I had puppies and it was crazy. It was like I needed a break. So I went to a very special place called Rancho La Puerta in Mexico. And I went to a meditation circle, healing circle. And I was there with about 50 other people lying on the carpet in the room. And this lady walked in, she was all in white, so beautiful. And she looked over at me and I waved, she waved. And she has such an incredible energy. And she not only did the crystal bowls healing, she just walked us through some spaces. And it was pretty amazing. I was at this retreat because I got lost in Tijuana, Mexico. And I was harassed by the police and had to pay the police off. And it was a really hard time there. It was kind of like, really not great. And I had to find my way from Tijuana all the way east Tijuana, all the way through the end of Tijuana to another town. And it was very difficult. Thank God I've been traveling around third world countries, so I knew what I was getting involved in, but it still was very difficult. And I got there and I needed a healing. I was so upset about the police and having to pay them off. And it was just kind of didn't feel right. So this lady, this wonderful spiritual coach, this guide, did a wonderful healing with the group. And one of the things I remember she spoke about was your future self, and see your future self. And what is your future self showing you to become or do? And I remember she said, if there's anything within you that's bothering you or limiting you, let it see it clearly. And what really bothered me was this situation I was in Tijuana with this policeman. It was really hurting me. And all of a sudden it changed my future self. And I knew I was going to write a book about it. And I was going to heal it. And it's called You Are the Hope. And that is the name of my next book. And it was through this connection with Ann Vanderwater that I got the name of my next book and what the book is going to be about. And it would turn that really fearful, that limited, dark experience to a very positive. And I met her afterwards. I spoke with Ann, and we just connected right away. We had a lot in common. She didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about her. And she lives in Santa Barbara, and I went up to visit her there. And we had a great day. She took me all around that area. I went to a couple of lovely, lovely spots, and went to a wonderful temple up there. And she did a healing with my Facebook group with a crystal ball. So some of you might have remember that. So she's going to be on our show tonight, and she's a life mastery coach, and she's many things. So she's going to do a lot tonight. And I said, please come on the show, share your gifts and your abilities with all my followers here, with the people that is my community. So that'll be tonight, Both Sides Now and Beyond. You'll love her. She's just incredible. So be there tonight, please. Okay. Rachel, hi, James. There are a lot of spirits around. Good. I'm glad. So this is a good introduction, Rachel. All of us have a lot of them around us, but are we aware of them in the spaces around us? See, and part of that mediumship seminar I did with Gordon Smith, teaching how to be aware of them, who's in your space, and where are they in the space. Almost like the geography of the spaces around you. And that I'll cover that too, the geography of the space around you, of the spirits. How do you know when they're in your space? How to communicate with them in your space. And you have to be in charge of it. You can't let the spirits just take you over. Okay. Now I'm getting information when I connect, just can't hold connection. Any advice? Come to the workshop. So the workshop is all about sustaining your link. And part of your sustaining your link is being in the power, being in this sense of yourself, building up that psychic power, that essence of self, and working that essence to your stay with that power, which is hard. It's very much like a geyser of water coming up. And it's kind of like riding that. I remember cartoons as a kid seeing that, a geyser of water, and the boat was trying to stay in the top of that. It's very much that way, because you feel this energy, and it fluctuates, and you have to kind of be in charge and be on top of that fluctuation of the energy, and you can't let it throw you. So it's a matter of learning how to stay with your connection and that fluctuation of the power, and always bringing your power up, running your energy. And again, that's going to be part of the workshop. If you can't make the workshop, it is in Mediumship 1. I cover that quite succinctly. Okay. The in-person event, Mediumship Made Simple, a 2-day workshop with myself and Gordon Smith. And Gordon Smith, if you don't know him, you should go on his website and look him up. On my website, go look him up. For many years, people said, you have a brother in Europe. I said, I have a brother in Europe. Yeah, you have a brother. He looks just like you. You look just like each other. Like, really? And I was at a conference in Switzerland, a mediumship conference. And I'm literally walking across the street to go to the conference. And this man walks by and he stops. And we look at each other, and we're both the same height. And we both looked exactly the same. I think he had a goatee at the time. I said, you must be Gordon. He goes, you must be James. And we just love each other. We get along really well. We're brothers from a different mother. It's just so weird. And a sense of humor is very, very similar. It's kind of scary. And because we're such sick people, that we decided that in the demonstration, we're going to be wearing kilts. So Gordon was so fun. He sent me over a kilt to wear. And when he went to go pick up the pattern of the kilt, the man at the store said, why are you picking this pattern? Why these colors? He goes, well, I think they'd be good for my friend. He goes, well, and the man didn't know who Gordon was. He goes, well, this is an interesting pattern you're picking, because this is a spiritual pattern. It's reserved really for highly spiritual people. And Gordon said, well, that makes sense. So we're both wearing kilts at the demonstration on August 26th. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I don't know what they wear under kilts. I don't know. Wait to find out. Okay, a couple more questions. How do you know good spirits and ones you don't want to have around? Well, Nikki, it's just like the living. How do you know good people to hang around, not good people to hang around? I'm more afraid of the living than I am the dead. So it depends upon what you vibrate, what you're sending out. If you're living in fear, you're going to bring through fear. So if you're a person that's living in that fear or limited space, you're going to attract to you limited people. If you're a person that's fearful and dark, and you're going to attract those in a lower level of evolution. Same in the living, you're going to attract those lower people. So if you want to raise the vibration, bring loving, happy people, then you yourself have to give up those vibes. Remember, we're all magnets, and we magnetize the space around us. We will draw to us, we will attract to us that which we are. Like attracts like. So you'll attract to that which we are. So if you want happy, loving spirits around you, then you yourself have to be in a happy, loving space. And that's it. It's very, very simple. And I want to keep it simple, because human beings tend to make it more complex than it really needs to be. So it's very simple. Love, bring love. Fear, bring fear. Hi, Margaret. I'm a new widow. Okay. How long does it take our time for the check on this? I miss him terribly, but I'm very sorry to hear Do this grow on the other side because ask for him to visit me. Margaret, I'm very, very sorry to hear that you lost your partner there. It's a tough one, losing anyone, especially a partner. I've lost two partners. I understand what you mean. I know well, and I've lost partners through divorce too. So that's another way of grieving, right? So the spirit people, just so you know, they don't just disappear. They're around us and they're learning things out. And I'm sure, Margaret, that he or she has been around you and they've been around you. They never leave us. They're just watching and they're getting used to new things. Um, they understand that you miss them. The one most important thing we have to realize from here, being the human, is that they're okay, that they're very, very alive, and that they're happy. And they usually want us to know that they're okay, and that you should be okay, and that just see them in another world. Be aware that they're with you, but they're just in a different space. So your partner, you can reach out to your partner before you go to sleep at night. You can write a letter to your partner, and and I always suggest writing a letter, and then a week later, write the letter, put an envelope, put their name on it, put it away, and on your calendar or diary, write a week later an appointment that you have with them. And when that time comes, let's say it's 10 o'clock in the morning, you sit down, you have a piece of paper, a pad. I always have a pad around me, right? And I put down their name, and then I start a breathing exercise, breathing in, breathing in about 3, out 5. In 3 through the nose, out 5 through the mouth. Always two breaths exhalation, 2 breaths longer on the exhalation than the inhalation. And just bring yourself to a lovely space of just gentleness and hold a pen in your hand and begin to writing from your partner to you. And just let yourself go, and you'll be surprised what comes through. Good answer. So you're not holding them back. They love you. You won't hold them back by thinking about them all the time. It's very natural to do that. God bless you. Okay. Hi, Joyce. How do we essentially have personality throughout lifetime? How do we essentially have same personality? As I mentioned before earlier, Joyce, we build the personality. So we build a soul personality based on all the experiences we have in lifetimes. So our belief systems, our likes, our dislikes, our creative choices, decisions we make, all that builds our personality from lifetime to lifetime. So and that's what we want to do. The more experiences we have, the more we will build and expand and discover new things about ourselves, the world around us. So we build personality each lifetime, and they build on top of each other. So each lifetime we build that personality. Okay. Nancy, just quickly, Renee, I have Nancy Tubbs. My father that passed 4 days ago. Can he send me signs he's around soon? Nancy, yes. I wouldn't ask him to so much because he's still adjusting over there. But they often will go to their own funerals and memorial services, and they're fine. They just stepped out of the body. They're okay. They just don't want us worrying about them. They don't want us to worry about them. That's the biggest message I get when people have just passed over. When they've just passed over, they say, I'm just fine. Just like the movie Ghost. Go watch the movie Ghost, all of you. That will help you because it's really very much that way. They pass right out of the body. It's a very natural experience. It's very natural for everyone to leave the body. And it's not a big deal, death. It isn't as big as they think it is. Everybody thinks it is. It isn't that big a deal. It really isn't. And really they're around us. We always think of things as in human terms, but the essence of them is always around us. And they can be in several places at once too. So he can come through 4 days. Sure, there's no time limit, if you will. I have found just from my experience that those who have passed over in a let's say with a long illness for a long time, and the body's been depleted with the prana has been drained from them. I find that I give them a little bit longer because they have to get the energy to come back and to establish themselves and get their world together. But those who die very quickly, whether it's a heart attack or just fast or a sudden accident, it seems they can come back right away. I did a reading once. I told this before in the SoulCARE that I was doing a demonstration, a public demonstration, and I brought through a lady's mother. And the lady in the audience said, well, that can't be my mother. My mother's still alive. And I said, well, this is her, and this is her name. I think her name was Carrie. And Carrie is talking about, well, that's her name. I said, well, she's telling me she's passed over. And the girl goes, no, I think you're wrong. I said, okay, well, that's what I get. Well, I guess it was at the end. I went on to a book signing, and she said, she left. But her friend came up to me at the end of the book signing. She said, at the intermission, she called up, and indeed her mother had passed. So the mother had passed at the time that the girl came to on the car in the demonstration. The mother had passed. So that was really interesting how that happened. So she came back right away, didn't she? Came back right away to let her daughter know she was okay. That was a fast one. Many of those, actually. Many of those. Okay. Renee, hi Renee. Are people on the other side living another life? Yes, Renee. So in the spirit world, it's such a misnomer to think that they're just dead. They're more alive than we are. They have many, many, many things. It's a very busy, busy, busy world there. Worlds within worlds within worlds, different realms. And they do a lot of missionary type work, helping people who are not as evolved, if you will, or there might be an expertise teaching something for someone. They might go back to school, the universities. They might learn some skills that they couldn't do here on the earth. Let's say they want to play the piano, but they were never able to. Over there, they can do that, or they can become artists. They can learn all different skill sets over there. They spend a lot of time reunited with people, working out relationships that they couldn't perhaps work down here. For a lot of that, with recently on Friday, we heard about fathers and sons. When the son passed over, he's working with a relationship with his father. Happens quite a bit that the relationships down here were difficult, but on the other side, they work out their situations and their issues. And it's really interesting. So they carry that over to their side. We carry out all our stuff to their side. And that's why they talk about addictions, that this earth world is a school of addictions. And if you can break an addiction while you're here in the three-dimensional, earthly, physical level, you don't bring it over to the mental world. The spirit world is a mental world. This is the physical world. So over there, all your thoughts are realized on the other side. All of your thoughts, your cravings, your thoughts, your addictions, all of your thoughts are realized. So imagine in your head, you're an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever it might be, and you haven't dealt with it here. You'll bring that mindset with you over there. And there'll always be a feeling of, I need this drug, or I need this drink, or I need to have the, and you can have the drink, let's say you can have the cocktail, and you can drink it, and it'll taste exactly like it did on the earth because you have the memory of it. It doesn't affect you like it would down here because it's not physical, it's just mental. So you think that it's affecting you. You think it, but it's not really affecting you because you're not physical anymore. That's really, so it's the world of thought. We go into the world of thought. We go into the mental world. I call it the mental world. I think it's easy. I think it's more apropos and appropriate to call it going into the mental world instead of going to the spirit world. We go into the mental world. We go to the essence of our thoughts is where we go. We go to the essence of our thoughts. Okay. A couple more. Yes. On tonight's show. What to say? Okay. So please, yeah, welcome me tonight on Both Sides Now and Beyond with Ann Van Der Water. She's a quite incredible woman. I think you'll enjoy her very much, her teachings. And why not? You really should check her out. I promise you. I wouldn't have brought her on the show if I didn't think she was very, very, very gifted. Very gifted. And she's young and she's so gifted, so full of incredible insights and philosophy. So please join me tonight at 6 p.m. on Both Sides Now. And until then, we'll do one more. How best to expand your clairvoyance? Different ways. Again, mediumship 1 is a good way to do that. Check out my books, Heaven and Earth. It's a good one. And also the psychic portal course is very good for that too. All different techniques I have in there. Okay. Good luck, Matthew. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you later. We'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock. And